Today we're going to compare the TRVL LX and the Triv Next, two compact, easy folding models from Nuna with somewhat larger than average wheels relative to their weight for that added edge when tackling rougher ground. So let's jump straight into it then, looking at the advantages and disadvantages of each model in turn, and focusing on their differences in terms of child comfort, ease of use, longevity, and driving characteristics, before ending with a discussion of under what conditions and uses one might make a better purchase over the other. And starting off with the TRVL LX, the model clocks in at 7.7 kilos and folds down to 34 by 52 by 71 centimeters. It can carry 22 kilos in the seat and 4.5 kilos in the underslung storage basket. When it comes to child comfort, the TRVL LX's upright position is a bit too sloped in my opinion, though the reclined position is near flat and newborn acceptable. And, in the US at least, the model also comes with a newborn apron tucked in under the leg rest. Shifting between these positions is quite easy, involving only pulling on a strap to lower the seat and just lifting the backboard to raise it, though I'd note that the locking mechanism feels somewhat flimsy, and I suspect it may be a potential mechanical problem area in the future. As far as the dimensions of the seat are concerned, the TRVL LX has a width of 34 centimeters and a total length for the sitting surface of 79, meaning the combined lengths of the backboard, baseboard, and leg rest, as well as a total longer length of 115 when taking into account the distance to the front frame mounted footrest and space beneath the canopy. With regards to other aspects of the seat, the textiles feel acceptably durable, there's decent padding, and the harness's top-mounted release button and magnetic feature make it more comfortable to use than with a lot of competing models. Lastly, when it comes to sun coverage, the TRVL LX's canopy has both a sun flap and a zipped-in extension section and provides good sun coverage. Moving on to parent comfort, the TRVL LX's handle has a fixed height of 108 centimeters, while its shopping basket is good sized and comfortably accessible for an ultra compact. When it comes to folding, the model auto folds, meaning that you just need to depress the button and trigger on the handle, a one-handed process, and give it a little push for the stroller to complete the fold itself, ending up in a self-standing position, which is naturally quite handy during situations where you'll also be carrying a child, though I'd note that the mechanics involved are quite complex, meaning there's a possibility that folding will get more fiddly down the road as the stroller loosens up. When folded, the TRVL LX is too large to pass as cabin luggage, but will be acceptable for gate checking with a lot of airlines. As far as how the TRVL LX feels to use, despite having decently thick bars, the model chassis is loose at the hinged connection points, causing the handle arms to bend and strain a bit during tipping and steering, which makes the model feel a bit fragile and rickety in my opinion. As far as driving is concerned, decent suspension, combined with larger than average wheels, make the TRVL LX capable of tackling some degree of harder ground, such as lighter cobblestones and smoother off-road conditions, though the somewhat weak and complicated design of the chassis means that overdoing it in such conditions is likely to accelerate wear and loosening. Moving on, the Triv Next is a little heavier, weighing in at right around 9 kilos, while falling down to a wider, though also slightly shorter and slimmer, 32 by 57.5 by 69 centimeters. It can take the same 22 kilos in the seat and 4.5 kilos in the underslung storage basket. When it comes to child comfort, the Triv Next seat is reversible and also has a much more upright position, though its recline is a little less deep and a bassinet is recommended for the newborn period. The seat's position can be adjusted via a lever at the top of the seat back, which feels significantly sturdier than the adjustment mechanism on the TRVL LX. As far as seat size is concerned, the Triv Next is a little narrower than the TRVL LX, at 31 centimeters, but has a significantly longer sitting surface of 96, which includes both a taller seat back, 52 versus 43 centimeters, an important difference when it comes to head space and head support, especially in the reclined position, as well as a longer and much stronger leg rest, 20 centimeters versus 13. As far as the total longer length is concerned, when including distance from the seat back to the canopy as well as from the baseboard to the footrest, the Triv Next is a little shorter than the TRVL LX, at 104 centimeters, though I'd note that this difference is due entirely to the copious extra space beneath the TRVL LX's canopy, and is only present in the upright position. As far as other aspects of the seat are concerned, textile quality is virtually the same as on the TRVL LX, and the harness is identical, but the padding is a little thicker on the Triv Next, and the model also offers better ventilation via a mesh window in the seat back, covered by the model's removable seat liner. As far as sun coverage is concerned, though the Triv Next canopy is equally as long, the fact that it rotates backwards with the seat frame means the model provides a little less coverage in the reclined position. When it comes to parent comfort, the Triv Next handle can be adjusted between 96 and 106 centimeters, with its maximum height then being a tad lower than on the TRVL LX, though its shopping basket is both a little larger and a bit easier to access, as is generally the case with models with reversible seat frames. As far as folding is concerned, the Triv Next can also be folded with one hand, even though it takes an extra step, and the mechanisms involved are locally activated and significantly less complex, meaning that the Triv Next is less susceptible to symmetry problems from loosening over time. When folded, the Triv Next also self-stands, and, despite being a little heavier, still generally passes within the gate checking limits of a lot of airlines. As far as the general feel of using the Triv Next goes, while the model doesn't have the same hinged points on its handle arms and feels less loose as a result, it's also pretty lanky in relation to the thickness of its bars, and similarly feels somewhat fragile in its propensity to bend and strain a bit when steering. When it comes to driving, the Triv Next has similar suspension and wheel size to the TRVL LX, but its wider rear frame gives it more stability over rougher ground. And, despite also being slight of build, and thus not the best model to use for long hours daily in tougher conditions, its simpler design does mean less potential for mechanical problems popping up as it loosens over time. So which one of these should you get then? Other than price, where the Triv Next costs around an extra $150, I feel the Triv Next offers a bit more than the TRVL LX, with its reversible seat frame and also its simpler chassis, where the folding system is less likely to loosen significantly from continuous folding and unfolding, as would likely be a feature of buying either model for a car-based lifestyle. The fact that the TRVL LX can be used as it comes stock with a newborn does give it a little edge during the early period, though the shorter seat back, conversely, makes the model less comfortable than the Triv Next for after your child's grown a bit. Lastly, when taking into account other options on the wider market, I'd like to note that there are very few strollers that are directly comparable to the Triv Next, in offering both a reversible seat and decent terrain capability with such light weight, while forward-facing only, supposed to be but aren't really ultra-compacts like the TRVL LX are a lot more common and can often be had for a lower price. In any case, we hope you found this video interesting, and if you did, please subscribe, as this sort of support really helps us to continue making videos in the future. If you'd like to know more about either of these models, we have standalone reviews that go into a lot more detail, and links have been added in the description. In addition, if you're currently shopping for a stroller, we have a buyer's guide on our Patreon page which lists a wide range of models that we recommend, with a lot of technical and lifestyle related information. You can find it by following the link in the description as well. Thank you.